Hi, my name is Randy Shear, and I'm a technical curriculum developer here at Jitterbit. And I'm glad you could join me as I walk through the setup process for the Epicor Microsoft Dynamics 365 Opportunity to Order process template. First, I want to explain what a process template is. The Cloud Studio process templates are groups of pre-built integration use cases that accelerate the execution of a specific business process using numerous objects across multiple applications or systems. Process templates are designed to reduce the time to deployment by 50 to 80% and can be self-implemented, delivered by Jitterbit Professional Services, or delivered by an implementation partner. For access to a template, contact your Customer Success Manager. The Epicor Microsoft Dynamics 365 Opportunity to Order process template helps a business quickly synchronize contacts, accounts, parts, and inventory between Epicore and Microsoft Dynamics. Automatically create sales orders in Epicore when an opportunity closes in Microsoft Dynamics. Now that we know a little bit more about this process template, I'm going to quickly show you how to set it up. Before I prepare my Epicore instance or my Microsoft Dynamics instance, I'll need to log into the Jitterbit Harmony portal and open Marketplace. Marketplace is Jitterbit's new resource for searching and retrieving recipes and process templates to help you quickly create new projects. Once I find the appropriate template, I will first click on the documents to download the documentation for this process template. This documentation should be referenced frequently while using this process template. Now that the documentation has finished downloading, I'll click on Start Project. The next screen is the Download Customization screen. Here, I am presented with a zip file to download. I will make sure that I've checked the file and click Download Files. I will use these to prepare both the Epicore instance and the Microsoft Dynamics instance. After the zip file is finished downloading, I will click Next. I will be directed to the Create New Project screen. This process template has multiple projects with specific names that should not change. But I can add a prefix name to help manage the multiple iterations of this process template. I will then select my proper environment because Jitterbit is capable of having multiple environments. Once all of these steps are complete, I'll click Create Projects. After the projects are created, I can either go back to Marketplace or go on to Cloud Studio. I will continue to Cloud Studio where I find my newly created projects. There are 7 projects in total with my prefix followed by the name of each project. It is important to run each project in the proper order as listed in the documentation guide. Now it's time to prepare my Epicore instance. For this section, I will need the files that I downloaded while installing the process template. These downloaded files contain all the configuration files I need to configure this template and all the custom fields for the corresponding objects. Please see the Jitterbit Process Documentation Guide for more information. I've already located the packages that were provided with the template. These packages were located in the Epicore package folder. I need to install these packages in Epicore and validate that the packages were installed. For this video, I am only going to do the first one. To do this, I'll log into Epicore with my credentials. On the main screen, I will type the word Solution in the search box and select Solution Workbench. Now that I'm in the Solution Workbench, I will open the Actions menu and select Install Solution. In the Source section, I will click Solution File and browse to the first CAB or CAB file. Now in the Settings section, I will set the deployment folder to my working directory. I will also click Remove Directives with Matching Names checkbox. Finally, in the Conflict Resolution section, I will select Automatically Overwrite Duplicate Files and Automatically Overwrite Duplicate Data. This will avoid any issues while trying to install new versions of the solution or update an existing solution, allowing an update or overwrite of existing information. The last step is to click Install to finish the process. Once you've installed all 3 CAB files, it's time to validate the Epicore package installation. To validate the installation, I will open the Actions menu and select Delete Installed Solutions. On the Delete Solutions screen, I can verify that the CAP files are listed in the table. I will click Cancel. Now that I've installed the Epicore package and validated the installation, the data model must be regenerated. This process depends on your Epicore installation type. Now it's time to configure my Microsoft Dynamics instance. I'll start by logging into Microsoft Dynamics 365. I will click the Settings icon in the top right and select Advanced Settings from the drop-down menu. I will click the arrow next to Settings at the top left and select Solutions from the drop-down menu. I will select Import from the Solutions List menu. I will click Choose File and navigate to the appropriate file and click Next. You can view information about your solution before you finish the import. I'm ready to import, so I will click Import. I see that it was successful and I will click Close. Now it's time to set up the project variables. After importing the project and preparing both Epicore and Microsoft Dynamics, I will need to go back to Cloud Studio and click on the project titled Sync Epicore Customers to Microsoft Dynamic Accounts. It is very important that each project is deployed in the proper order. Please see the accompanying documentation guide for more information. Each project has its own independent set of project variables. To set the values of these variables, I will go to the project variable list by clicking the Actions menu icon, which are the three dots at the top of the project pane. I will then select Project Variables from the drop-down menu. Then select or modify the values as appropriate. When I am done entering all the appropriate values, I will click the X at the top of the screen, which will take me back to the project. There is a list of variables that need to be changed in the supporting documentation guide. With the appropriate variable settings applied, I click the X at the top, which took me back to the project. Prior to running any of the project's operations, I need to open each of the configured connections, both Epicore and Microsoft Dynamics, and test the connections to confirm that the supplied credentials work with each endpoint. First, I will check Epicore to see if the connection is successful. To do this, I will double-click on the Epicore connector and scroll down to the bottom where I see the button called Test. When that button is clicked, it will take all the variable settings I used in the last step to see if there is a successful connection to my specific Epicore connector. If it was successful, I will see a green message saying Connection Success. If it was not successful, I will get an error message. I see that my connector was set up correctly, and I will click the X at the top and do the same thing for the Microsoft Dynamics connector. Now it's time to start triggering the proper workflow in the proper order. It is important to install, configure, and test the connectors of all the projects listed in the documentation guide. Once this step has been completed, I can deploy and run each project in the proper order as listed in the documentation guide. If you have any questions, please check out the information located at Success Central by going to success.jitterbit.com.